Hey everyone, this is Dan York in New York City. This is day 3 of our trip, sort of our last day in New York City. We'll be flying out to Tel Aviv, Israel later today, which will be an 11-hour trip. Just to tell you a little bit of about what I did yesterday. We started out the day with breakfast, of course. We ate breakfast and we all jumped on the tour bus and they took us out to a place out on the Hudson River Harbor and did a Circle Line tour of the Hudson River and all around Manhattan Island. It's a ferry tour. You jump on a boat and they take you out to the Statue of Liberty. They circle around the Statue of Liberty and you take your pictures and everything like that. It was a lot of fun. I got to see the Statue of Liberty, of course, and I don't know, for me it was a little bit fun, but it was a little bit boring because I was seeing the whole city and stuff, and I was like, just let me off. I want to go walking and I want to go be part of it, be part of the action as far as the city goes. And it was just, it was kind of anxious for me, but we did get off later, and it was about a 2-hour trip out there to Statue of Liberty and back. We didn't get off onto Ellis Island, but we went around pretty close. And just got some really great pictures of that, and just an amazing sight. But we got off the boat, went to Dallas Barbecue, got to take my first taxi in New York that time. The driver's name was Sarkeith, and I have a couple of videos of him that will probably be in later videos or on YouTube, just sort of getting to know him a little bit. But it was a good time. We got to ride my first taxi. We had some trouble flagging it down. As I learned later on, apparently only the taxis that have the lights, the flash, the sort of like the parking lights on in the front, only those are available. All the other ones have people in them. So we kept flagging taxis down that had people in them, and they would pass us by and we're like, what's going on? What is wrong with these guys? But I learned later on that that's why. And so it was unnecessary for me to be mad. But anyways, but we finally found one. He was able to take us to Dallas Barbecue down in Times Square. And this is right off the corner of Times Square. Times Square is probably about 3 blocks. But the central Times Square, where the Coca-Cola, advertisement is, and where they have the ball drop for New Year's, that was 3 blocks away from where we were. And so I was able to go and eat some really good New York barbecue right there in Times Square and see all the lights and all the great buildings and stuff down in central New York City there in the theater district. And then we got to sort of split up. I went off and, of course, did my own thing and went down to central Times Square and saw all the sights, took all the pictures. It was an amazing sight just to see that, what man can do, really, what God has really gifted us to do and build great cities and just great, just an intersection like Central Park where there's so much energy any time of the day. It's just an amazing sight. So I walked around there a little bit. I actually got to go inside the Disney store there on Central Park. I know a lot of people see that Disney sign there, not Central Park, but Times Square. Got to see that, go inside, and that was just, it was really cool. I'm a big Disney fan, so nobody judge me right now. But anyways, got to see all that great stuff. After that, jumped on the subway. I had called my Uncle Mark yesterday, or the day before yesterday. He finally got back to me yesterday, and he told me what he was doing, so I thought I'd catch up with him. And so I took the subway, went down, checked out the Empire State Building, jumped back on the subway, took it back uptown, and got off near Central Park, where my Uncle Mark was working at the time. And so jumped off of there, walked through Central Park a little bit, and didn't realize how far Central Park the walk would be. So I got pretty tired after a while, after walking all that time and then walking Central Park. And so I actually was able to flag a taxi down in the middle of Central Park, and he took me the rest of the way. And that was sort of my first taxi ride by myself, and that was actually pretty cool. It was fun. But rode the taxi. He took me to 71st Street, where my Uncle Mark was actually at. He was working, and apparently I thought he was doing a rehearsal. Apparently this was an off-Broadway show that he was doing for his what's called his Ziegfeld Society. It's a Broadway society of people, and I actually got to see a show for free. He had reserved seats for me and everything. And it was at a little Lutheran church, but there were some big name stars. Sarah Rice, who was in Sweeney Todd Broadway show here in New York City that actually took place down in Times Square. There was a couple of other big names from Cabaret and stuff like that, and it was an amazing sight to get to hear all these great talents of music and just see these really cool people who, they live here in the city, they live in Manhattan, they know what it's all about as far as living in the city and downtown and all the just excitement and the energy that the island Manhattan gives off. And it was just really cool to get to meet those people and talk with some of them, and some of them like, hey, catch up with me, and I didn't know them from Adam. They just knew that I was Mark York's nephew, and so they it's like they almost already knew me. It was kind of funny, but got to meet some really cool people and see a lot of really nice, really just beautiful talent as far as musical scene goes. And of course my Uncle Mark was at the piano, so, and most of you in Chickasha know that he's already really talented when it comes to that anyway. So excuse me, I just ate breakfast. But today we're gonna go and have service before we fly out. It's Sunday morning here in New York City, and we're gonna take the taxi and drive over to which I think is called Forest Hills, and we're going to have service there at Shalom Baptist Church, where John Gibson is pastor. And we'll do that, and so that's why I'm all dressed up here. But we're going to have service over there today. We'll come back around 1:30. We'll pack our stuff, jump on the bus, and it'll take us back out to the JFK airport. Well, we will probably fly out around 6, 7, 8 o'clock. I can't remember what time our departure time is. But we will fly around sometime tonight, and it'll take 11 hours, and we'll get to Israel, Tel Aviv, Israel tomorrow, which is very exciting, and I can't wait. And I know New York City was awesome, but I know Israel is just going to be much more amazing. It's going to add to the adventure and the excitement that we're all having on this trip. And so I'll tell you some more about what I did yesterday as far as New York goes. Actually, me and my Uncle Mark, after we got done with the play, he actually took me out to eat, which was very nice. We went to a place called Mama Mexico. We got in a taxi and rode a couple blocks to Mama Mexico. It was a very nice Mexican restaurant here in New York City, and it was packed out. It's Saturday night in New York City. Every restaurant's packed out. That's of any interest. And so it was packed out. We waited for a couple of minutes, but it was only two of us, so we were able to get in. We got pretty lucky, I think, actually. But it was a great restaurant. They had great food. They had a mariachi band playing the entire time, coming around to the tables, which was actually pretty interesting. I got some footage of that as well. But we saw all that stuff. He walked me out, and he sort of took me to the subway station and sort of helped me get my way back bearings, because I already had probably about a 30-45 minute trip back to Queens, and it was already 10:30 at night. So it was a little bit of an adventure. I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit scared about driving the subway at 10:30 at night, but I've got some more I can tell you. I did a lot yesterday as far as that goes, and so I'll tell you that a little bit more, give you a little bits and pieces as I go throughout the rest of this trip. But you guys stay with us, all right, and keep checking up with us. We're doing great as far as that goes, and we can't wait to get to Tel Aviv, Israel, and check out the Holy Land, and to walk where Jesus walked, and to sit where Jesus sit. And it's going to be an amazing sight, an amazing trip, and I can't wait for that. And so you guys have a great day there in Chickasha, Oklahoma, and I will see you in, 10 days now, 11 days, or 9 days? So, all right, bye-bye.